couple of days ago, I was just chilling, relaxing. I was really bored. I had nothing to do. So I thought I would just check some political issues. And then I went on to watch this press conference that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, held a couple of days ago. So it's a press conference. So it's just all routine. The Secretary of the State, Marco Rubio, he made some statement, some kind of announcement, talking about what the administration has been doing. Then there would be the press to ask questions. The press would ask questions. So at the beginning, it was all good. But after the announcement, when the press started asking questions, I got triggered. Now I would like to talk to you about the thing. You see, when those press started asking questions, some of those press are really professional. Some of those press are really decent. The way that they ask questions are appropriate, and I believe they are decent human beings. Now, I would like to mention the thing is some of those reporters out there. I'm not saying they're not decent, but I would just like to point the thing out: the fact that they have heavy accent. They couldn't really express themselves clearly in English. Obviously, English is not their first language, but still, I thought it wasn't really pleasant to watch. It wasn't really smooth, and actually, I got a little bit triggered by that. Now, I would like to share with you my opinions with regard to this particular issue. You see, first, if you get those incompetent reporters, journalists who have heavy accent, who cannot even express themselves clearly, actually, the first point I would like to make is that it's pretty good. Why I say it's pretty good? Because they're incompetent. It's a waste of time. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And they mess up, they always do, and they will never realize their faults, their incompetence, and they will keep doing it. And actually, it's really, really easy for the administration to handle this kind of thing because all of those politicians, they use vague language, especially, I'm not criticizing them, but if you take a look at them, they talk all the time. So they use vague language. So when you can't even ask a tough question, when you can't even express yourself in English clearly, how could you expect yourself to ask a challenging, a tough question? So those politicians, they're trained, they're smart, they're the top people, and they can handle it just like that. And it's gonna be really easy. They don't really have to answer your question directly because you're not even asking a question. It's not even a fucking question. It's just so messed up. So they can just give you a random answer and that's it. So I think it's going to be pretty easy, either for the press secretary or the secretary of state in that particular case. But actually, I would also like to say something positive about this, because now we're seeing more and more journalists, more and more reporters in the White House. So I think probably it's pretty good, because it used to be pretty strict, right? It wasn't like this back in the days. They had those restrictions. If you're a small press, if you're a small media, you don't get to cover the White House or something. You don't really get to go in there. You don't really get to ask questions. I think it was a couple of months ago or last year, the Trump administration changed the rules. It's like they're open for more press, for more journalists, even the independent. So actually, uh, President Donald Trump talks about fake news. Actually, it's really good in terms of getting the real news because you're open the White House for more reporters. So it's gonna be good. So at least you're getting fair news. At least you're getting fair coverage. So that's the good point. And now back to the beginning. I said I was triggered. So why this thing triggers me so much? And I would like to say that talk about my identity is inevitable here. So I would like to mention this a little bit. So actually, I am an asylum seeker in the United Kingdom. I should say that I have been granted asylum status a couple of months ago, so therefore I'm not an asylum seeker no more. I'm a refugee. Now, over the past few years, in order to deal with the interrogation, the interviews that I had to take with the Home Office, I was really taking the thing seriously. I was checking political issues all the time. It's just my way to practice English. And I was passionate, I was vigorous, and I was checking all the time. I do it all the time. Now, if you look at the thing from my perspective, I think it's pretty easy to understand why I'm triggered. So, see, over the past few years, I've suffered, I've struggled, but I made it through. I wouldn't mention all the things that I've done, but I would say that I've gone through a lot, and I've gone through the fires of dealing with the incompetent solicitors, dealing with the bureaucracy, learning English, and getting rid of the accent, and all of those things. I would say those things are really challenging. And not to mention, when I came here, I was a young boy. I was only 23 years old. And finally, after doing all of those interviews with the Home Office, being questioned, I wouldn't say I was being interrogated, but I was being questioned. I was being interviewed, and that was some kind of serious stuff. That's not something like a joke. It was pretty serious. It's legal matters, and it was really challenging. And after I've been through all of that shit, dealt with the bureaucracy, all of those things, and now I'm seeing those people who are incompetent, who have heavy accent, who cannot even express their opinion in English clearly. They're asking questions in the White House. How'd you like that? How'd you like that? They're talking with their press secretary. They're dealing with the Secretary of State. What an honor to do that. What an honor. What an honor to be in the White House. And those people, they get to do that. And I think it's not so hard to understand why I'm so triggered. Because I've been through all of those things. And I'm definitely competent and capable in terms of dealing with those things. I'm not saying I should be a fucking diplomat. I'm just saying, at least I don't have the fucking accent. At least I can express myself in English clearly. At least I can use it smoothly. It's pretty smooth. At least I dealt with all of those interviews, asylum interviews, all in English. I refused to use interpreter, and I went through it. I got it done. I got it now. I was granted the asylum status. It wasn't fucking luck. It was pure competence. That's it. And I say I'm competent. I say I can do a better job than those people. And what I get to do? I get to do nothing. I get to do nothing. And those people who have heavy action, I don't know, probably they're fucking rich, or probably they've got a powerful father. They come from a powerful family, but somehow they get a job. And they use that kind of crappy English to deal with this kind of high stake matter. And I think it's pretty ironic. You see why I get so triggered? Because you see, I talk about jobs. I'm not saying I should be in the White House, I should be in the press, I should be out there asking press secretary questions, I should be a reporter, journalist. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not expecting anybody to give me any job like that. I'm just saying those people are incompetent and they're not supposed to be there. But for me, definitely, I can handle some of the things. I can definitely do a better job than those incompetent reporters out there. But see, what do I get? I get fucking nothing. Right here in the United Kingdom, I'm expected to do the simplest job. I have to do a hard labor job. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. Because everywhere I go, whatever I do, whatever I fucking say, they want to check my English certificate. What kind of fucking certificate are you fucking asking? What the fuck is the matter with you? How the fuck am I supposed to do it? I've never taken any of those tests before. It's self-taught English, and I've dealt with all of those shit. Like I said, I've gone through the fires of dealing with the incompetent solicitors. I had to deal with the fucking case by myself. And then I had to go through the bureaucracy dealing with the Home Office. And then I didn't use the interpreter. I went through interviews a couple of times and I got it. Doesn't that mean anything to you guys? Well, obviously, you're not interviewer who interviewed me. You don't know. It's reasonable for you to ask this kind of thing, but I don't have the thing. How the fuck am I supposed to get that thing? Huh? You're just gonna judge me by the color of my skin? It doesn't matter what kind of accent I have, how much effort I put into the thing. You're just gonna fucking judge me just because I don't hold a British passport, just because I look differently, just because I wasn't born in this country, and you're gonna ask me for those fucking cocksucking motherfucking certificates to prove that I can speak fucking English? What the fuck's the matter with you? Get the fuck out of here! But I would say this though, because I don't believe I'm the majority here. I believe the people who can deal with all of those things like me are the minority. So, which means the majority of the asylum seekers out there, they can't really speak English like me. So I get it. If you want to get a job, if you show those employers out there that you're a refugee, you're an asylum seeker, obviously they would check your ability to speak English. Because if they can't even make sure that you can communicate with them clearly, probably you're gonna fuck up a job. So they wouldn't want to hire anybody like that. I get it. But you know what? I would say one thing about that. It's your fucking loss. Whatever will fuck. And with regard to the particular issue that I mentioned earlier about the reporter, those incompetent cocksuckers, I would say this about that. You keep letting those incompetent cocksuckers to do the important job, and they just keep fucking up because they would never realize they're not competent. They would never admit their own fault. And we'll see what the fuck happens. We'll see what the fuck happens. It's not some kind of conspiracy. I believe this world is going down, and it's inevitable. Fuck that.